Good. So we're going to do yellows and reds, and there's some I want to go over with you first. I ask questions quite a bit. For some of you, you'll really like this. Others, I think you'll kind of like it. But we're going to be doing swatches here in a second. I just want to go over this with you. So let me flip this around so you can see it from the same perspective I'm looking at it. And something heavy on it so it doesn't move. Okay. Change cameras here. Go. Okay. So this, there we go. This is kind of how I think in my head when we're going to be talking about colors. So this is looking from the aspect of a spectrophotometer or CIELAB. So when I look at this, so I ask quite a bit, John, tell me if the color I'm looking at is a warm color. If we're looking at the CIELAB, for example, and CIELAB, C-I-E-L-A-B, L is for light, right here, 0 to 100. A and B are just the Cartesian coordinates for plotting, the A and the B. Then it allows me to look at the yellow, the blue, the red, and the green. And in this way right here, in this across the circle, I have you. And from either the top to the bottom or the bottom to the top, this is kind of like the z-axis. This is my chroma. And when someone says, is something a warm color, there's two ways of answering that. From my perspective, I can say it's in this quadrant, which is the warmest quadrant. It can be in this quadrant, which is a warm quadrant. Or you can say how one color compares to another color, right? So someone says, is quinacridone coral a warm color? Well, I can tell you that it's in the warmest quadrant, but I can't tell you whether it's the warmest color unless you give me another color to compare it against. Okay, that's kind of the differentiation there. And the CIELAB will actually help you answer those questions. So today, we're going to be looking at the yellows and the reds. The yellows live both in this area, right here, and in this, right here. So this is the yellow, which means that yellows can have a red aspect to them, and yellows can have a green aspect to them. So if I look at nickel titanate is in the warm quadrant, and it has a green spectrum to it. If I look at bismuth bandonate, it is also in this warm quadrant. It's in the green, and it has more yellow and less green than nickel titanate, which has more green and less yellow. Right? So if I'm driving this way, I'm driving to more yellow. If I'm driving this way, I'm driving to more green. So this one answers some of the questions you have when you ask me, John, if I'm looking at phthalo, blue, red shade, or green shade, it's easier to answer using this, I believe, from my point of view, than it is just about talking about the two different colors. It's easy for you to see this in your mind, I think. And it's very easy. For me, I can do it in my head. I can do it in my head because when I think of yellow, blue, I think of my sister who used to, when she was younger, had blonde hair and blue eyes. So yellow, blue. And then my cousin who has red hair, red, and green eyes, red, green. So I can always really easily put those together and graph any color I want to graph and then learn about it. And then if I wanted to see two colors, I could graph both of them. For example, here we see pyrrole red and pyrrole red, and this is perylene red. So pyrrole red is more red because it's going this way. Here's red. It's driving further out than the perylene red. So it has more red. It would have more of a yellow attribute because it's higher on this scale, whereas perylene red would have more of a blue, or more specifically, you would say it would have less yellow. So a little bit different way than looking as from a color wheel that you might do at home. This is more of an analytical way of looking at it. But I think for many of you, this just would click so quickly. And I think it would do you some, it would help. It's just another tool in your toolbox that allows you to quickly differentiate between colors. Okay. Hansa yellow. So when we look at Hansa yellow medium, Hansa yellow medium is right on the line. And because it's right on the line, it is the more pure yellow. In other words, it has very little green and very little red. Therefore, it's a very good mixing color because it's not going to have those characteristics of red or green with it. Okay, and that's another way of looking at it. I think on the line is going to be very pure to this red, green, blue, or yellow aspect. All right. So it's fun to play with the colors. It's also kind of interesting when we're looking at the colors of multiples. Where do they exist in these quadrants? Because it would tell you right away, does it have more yellow? Does it have more blue? Does it have more green? Does it have more red? It's just another tool.
John?
And yes.
May I interrupt about Hansa yellow light versus Hansa yellow denim?
What was the second one?
We have more than one Hansa yellow.
Yes, we do.
And where does the direction fall? That might be a question for others.
So for which ones?
We have Hansa yellow deep. Isn't that correct?
We do.
And medium too.
So that's falling towards red.
Here, I'll do it. We'll do it by column.
Thank you.
English, yeah, no problem.
The medium is really the true yellow, isn't it?
That's correct.
The very pure yellow. And the deep should go to the red more. And then the light goes
So if we look at
the
Hansa
green.
yellow medium. Hansa yellow medium, I think I actually did that one. So Hansa yellow medium is 3 and 99 points. So it's 3 and 99. It's like it's right there. That's Hansa yellow medium. And then if we look at light is minus 1188, minus 1188.
Yeah.
So it's
More
like
to the green.
that's correct. More in the green. That's on the yellow light. And then we have the deep. The deep is 23 and 79. So it's not going to have the same as the Hansa yellow medium. It would have, and it's going to be more towards the red because it's further here, so more red, whereas the Hansa yellow light is going to be more green, and then the medium is going to be kind of the way less, almost no green, almost no red. Did that answer your question? It's a kind of an interesting way to look at things very quickly. Now, this is just how the photospectrophotometer sees it. You have that beautiful computer behind your eyes, and you see color in a whole different way. This is just more of an analytical way to kind of answer questions. Once you start mixing it, and if you look at something here to find its complement, you would look here. If you had something here to find its complement, you would look here, right? You look across the axis to find its complement.
So John, if
say a red that goes more toward, has more blue in it, would
So-
that be considered a cool red, or is it still just considered a warm color?
So very good question. So this is our red. So red lives kind of in this area right here. That's where red lives. And you're correct, because red can be above this, it would have more of the yellow, and below this, it would have more of the blue. So a red that was in this area for this purpose,
Cooler.
we would say this is a cooler, because this is cool, this is the coolest, this is warm, this is the warmest. So we would say this is a cool blue compared to something that's right here, which is a very warm, or this would be a very warm red, this would be a very cool red or a cooler
Okay.
red. In
Uh,
these areas, then we can compare one against the other, right? So this is doing it by quadrant. In general, if it lives in here, it's going to be the warmest. In general, if it lives here, it's going to be cool. And then we can actually further compare two things, we compare these two reds and see where each one of these, and then say something specific about this color to this color.
John, I have a question about the lemon yellow and the hansa light. For me, the hansa, where does the lemon yellow live? Because I like the hansa light more than for me, it's cooler than the lemon. How are they compared
Lemon yellow. So
there?
lemon yellow is -8, so it's going to be -8 over here. And then it's going to be 83, so it's going to live up in this area right here.
Okay,
That's
so
going to be the lemon yellow. And
yeah,
then, what was the other one?
hansa light.
And then the Hansa light is right here. So the Hansa
So
light,
it's cooler.
the Hansa light is going to be said to have more yellow, but it's going to be cooler because it's going to be more.
Cooler, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Thank you. That
Yeah,
is how I
good.
feel, but they're very close. But
Yeah, very close.
yeah.
What are
The
these?
hansa light is my coolest yellow.
So let me show Bobby this. So Bobby has a question. What are the 83, etc.? So Bobby, in our Daniel Smith site, what I do is I will list all of the Daniel Smith colors, and then I give you the L value or the light. So if we have something like lemon yellow 92, it's a very, very, very bright color. It goes from 0 to 100, or actually, if I'm using 0, it goes 0 to 99. So 92, really super bright color for this lemon yellow, for example. -8 means I'm going to the left on my Cartesian coordinate, and then 83 means I'm going up, right? So what that means is when I look at those numbers here, if I'm going negative, I'm going this way, and then positive this way, or I could go negative this way, and then negative this way. And that just helps me pinpoint exactly where in space that color is. We can also do a hypothetical z-axis, which means how does it come out from, where does it come out in space? So if we said this was not flat, but if it was a sphere, it would say where in space is that point as well. I didn't do that because that gets a little bit more abstract. And but for those of you that love that kind of stuff, you can actually get the computation off of the web and do a computational analysis of that.
John, could you show us the comparison between New Gamboge versus Hansa Yellow Deep on your chart?
Sure. On here.
Correct.
New Gamboge.
So New Gamboge, and which was the other one?
Hansa Yellow
Hansa Yellow what?
Deep.
Okay.
Deep.
So Hansa Yellow Deep. Hansa Yellow Deep is 23 and 79. So if it's 23 and 79, I already know it's going to be warm because it's going to live in this quadrant. So 29, 5, 10, 15, 20, it's going to be right about here. And 79 is going to be somewhere about up in here. And that's going to be for Hansa yellow deep. Right there. And then you said new gamboge. And so then new gamboge is going to be
More red.
11 and 77. So 11 is going to exist somewhere around here, and 77 somewhere in around here. So we would say that the new gamboge is going to have less red, and the hansa deep would have more red because it's going this way, right? And the hansa is going to have more yellow because it's going this way. This is my yellow going this way. Right? Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
Can you do quinacridone rose and alizarin crimson? Alizarin crimson permanent, I guess.
Quin rose and alizarin permanent. Okay. So I can do alizarin crimson or alizarin crimson, or so here's, I'll do alizarin crimson. That's, you want to do that
Well,
one?
alizarin crimson was fine, because
Okay.
that's what I've got in my palette right now.
Alizarin crimson is 53 and 16.75. We'll just say 17. So right away, this can tell me it's going to be in this quadrant. It's going to be in the warmest quadrant. And if I look at quinacridone, red, or was it rose?
Rose.
Okay. So Quin rose. Quin rose is 51 and -3. I'm just going to round it. So -3. So that tells me it's going to be in this right here, which is going
Oh,
to be
wow. So
right,
they're
right
quite
away. I know
different.
one is going to be in this quadrant and
Right.
one is going to be in this quadrant. And now I can graph them. So the rose is going to be 51. 51 and 3 is going to be like right in here. And rose. And then the alizarin crimson is going to be 53 and 17 is going to be up here. So alizarin crimson. So that's going to tell me the alizarin crimson, they're both not that far off from the amount of red, the reddish. If you want. But the alizarin is going to have more of the yellow.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we'll have more of the blue because it's
Okay.
pushing this way, right?
Yeah, thanks.
It's cooler.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
In the Carmen,
The Carmen, okay.
yeah, to compare to the alizarin crimson.
So I just want to make sure that this is how the photospectrophotometer is seeing it with the machine eye. It's true math, but then it's always, you as an artist are going to see it with that beautiful computer you have, which cannot be matched by any in the world. So make sure we know that. So let's look at Carmen, and Carmen's a pretty color. We saw that.
It is beautiful color.
So Carmen's going to be 53 and 62. So 53 and 22 is going to put it right about in here.
So very close to alizarin crimson.
Very, yeah, very close. It's going to be right in here.
Oh, wow.
So John, this theory only works with Daniel Smith colors, or do they work with other?
Yeah, it's not really a theory. It's by Hunter Lab. It's if you have something which is, say we had 50 and then something was 53, it's very easy for the human eye to see that difference. Within a margin of 2, it's very easy to see. If you had something that was 50 and -3 and something that was 50 and -4, it'd be very hard for the human eye to see the difference between those two colors. So the majority of all the colors we have are easy to differentiate by the human eye. This would apply to anybody that would be spending either having the equipment, which we do, or spending the money to have it done by an outside laboratory. But really, if you're going to make sure that your colors are always going to be the same, you need to know and have this done, or be able to do it on demand. And we can do it on demand because we have that 6 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot machine sitting upstairs.
Well, I'm just wondering if someone didn't have access to another company's paint, but they have access to Daniel Smith, how could they compare the color?
You can't really, because there's multiple places that people might be buying their pigment, and it may not be the same as ours. Most likely it's not the same as ours. And they would give you different readings on the photospectrophotometer.
Gotcha. Thank you.
So really, they would have to do theirs and give their reading for what it is they're using.
But actually, even two colors are very close on the spectrum, and in all of what you explain, like carmine and alizarin crimson, it's the other side is how they mix. So it's not only how warm or cool it is, how close they are, and if they're very close, they have a different qualities, mixing qualities. So
Sure, if they're within a value of 2, the human eye can see it, and then mixing, it takes it off this table. That's just a whole different thing. This is
exactly, yeah.
So this just answers a lot of questions that I think artists have asked me over the years. John can tell me, is this color warmer than this color or cooler than this color? This just gives you the power to do that all the time, very quickly and very easily by yourself. And I went over this a couple of years ago, and I'd be glad to go over it again. We're going to take an hour and go over it for those of you that really, would see value in it. I look at the number of people watch. I've see it go down really quick. I know you're not so much interested in it, but let me know. It's actually quite fun. I think to me, I always look at it, and the more tools that you have in your toolbox, it just makes your medium so much more fun, because you understand it from, if you want to, you can understand it from different aspects, and that's always a good thing. Okay, so with that, I thought we could look at colors.
So, John, can I say something about what you just said?
Yeah.
I do not see temperature. I don't know why, but it's been a lifelong as an artist, and I don't see temperature. And that, you have helped me so much with that tool.
Fantastic.
So don't ever but I learn more listening, and I look up at the right time. But if I'm looking at it, trying to figure it out, I'm just confused. So it's just because I'm looking away when you're doing that, that does not mean it's not full attention.
Oh, fantastic.
There are many people who do not see the temperature, Kathleen. I hear from more students difficulties about really making the difference in temperature of the color. Yeah.
Thank you, Stella, for saying that, because I'm admitting it before the whole world, I feel like right now.
No, there is nothing bad in that.
Very creepy person to understand temperature.
Kathleen, you would never know that looking at your artwork. Your colors are.
I know.
So it's a very intuitively you're doing it without thinking about it.
Right. You all are just, you don't know what you're doing, but John, thank you for that tool.
Oh,
It's
absolutely my pleasure.
because my
John?
students want to know.
And if you've got things that you want to know more about, I love when it gets stumped. So by all means, either ask me or send me a comment. Would love to hear it. So I think I'm going to mix up the yellows and the reds and oranges. So we just will look at a bunch of yellows. I kind of like it when they're a little bit mixed up. Do you have a favorite yellow? I'm going to go back to Facebook so I see what you're saying.
John, I have a question about the quinacridones. In the yellow family, would it be safe to say that the quinacridone gold and quinacridone gold deep are the only ones? Or is that one color quinaphalone related at all to quinacridones?
Oh, no, that's a boy. It's like great minds think alike. So I actually did, because I use quinaphalone, which is not a quinacridone. Quinethalone is not a quinacridone, but I graphed it. So quinethalone yellow exists right there. It's a super bright color.
Yeah,
Maybe this way. So this is quinethalone yellow. It exists right here.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So the quinacridones are going to be all over. They're going to be in various places because you have the reds, you have the violets. So if you want at some point, if you give me a family before we start, I can graph that all out and show it to you. So any family you want to see, whether it's perylene, pyrroles, quinacridones, I'd be glad to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. So the temperature here in Seattle has finally cooled down.
It's beautiful.
And absolutely
Good for
beautiful.
you.
Yeah. It was something else. And for those of you that know Paul Wang is here. Which was him. He's here for the Urban Sketchers, which is having a presentation here in I think they're at Edmonds.
I love his work. It's like doodling. He's so good in it. It's a pleasure to watch him paint.
Really, really good.
What are you doing up there? What are you doing? You want to come and see me? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
You probably all saw him because he did a presentation for live.
Oh, didn't see that.
No?
It's probably on YouTube.
Oh yeah. They're streamed.
John, who came with that hue? For me, what is the difference between color and hue? Is there any difference? Because in many places you read about the characteristic of color is hue and temperature and intensity and so on. So what is hue? Hue is the name of the color, or?
No, so we put U, for example, on the cadmium U, and what we're telling you from the pigment side is that it means it's not that thing. It means it's not a cadmium. So U does mean, U means U from an art side means the color itself. You're correct. So from an art side, it means the color itself. From the chemistry side, it means it's not that thing.
Oh gosh, that's what their colors like blue hue or something with color hue. It means that it's not the same color.
Well, if you're saying, for example, for us, we say it's a cadmium U, we're saying it's not cadmium. That's how we're using it.
Huh, never knew that.
But for us, that's how, from an art side, it would mean the color itself, whereas chroma would mean the quality of the color.
Never understood what that hue meant.
So when you say it's a cadmium U, do you mean it looks like a cadmium? Like a cadmium blue?
That's correct.
Okay.
I never knew that.
Looks like that, but it's not that. Because we don't use cadmiums. Okay. This is going to be, I like this color. This is a cerulean. See that. All right, make you see that better. Maybe like that. Like this. There we go. So that's a cerulean.
It has a little green, doesn't it? It goes with the green.
It does. So a cerulean. A cerulean. This is azo is right here. You're correct.
Yeah.
It's on the inside, and this right here is a cerulean.
Cerulean. Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
just, I would say, just a very minor amount. But yes, it's going to be on this side of the
Yeah.
this quadrant, which is the green quadrant. Good eyes. There you go. Yeah, that's right. So as a non-artist, the CIELAB really helps me quickly look and distinguish colors and kind of in my head say what some of the properties of the color would be before then I would look at the color chart and see further characteristics, what does it stain, does it granulate, etc. So it's kind of building a layer cake of knowledge. And then you have even more because you have a practical sense as well. So that's even it's kind of like the cherry on top. So this is going to be CAD Orange U. Back to Facebook. See if I can. See if anyone's asking questions. Okay. So George says it's not the original, it's like an alternative that is created to substitute. Exactly. And so next week I go to Mexico. I have lived down the street from Mexico in California my whole life and have never gone. And
Never gone to Mexico?
I've never gone to Mexico.
Oh. Where in Mexico?
I'm going to go meet our distributors in Mexico City.
Oh, great. So finally, it's in Mexico City, Daniel Smith.
Yeah. You know who I'm going to see there, don't you?
Yeah, you're going to see today.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, you're going to enjoy Jorge and drink the best gin and tonic in the world. He is the master of gin and tonic.
So normally I have our fantastic interpreter and my friend Angela, but since Terry speaks and can't do translation, she's going to do the translation in Mexico.
Yep.
Okay, so we have, this is the Azo yellow, CAD orange. This is CAD yellow light. This is organic vermilion. And this one is lemon yellow. Gabriel, are you coloring your stuff out today or are you busy today? That's interesting. I would have known that right away. This is Mayan orange. It's different here in front of me. It's hard for you to see, but boy, it's
beautiful color, but it's different on the screen, John.
yeah, it is different. This is so red on the screen. It's not that way here. Now that I'm back for a couple of months, I'm gonna put together the other room and test but even with my iPhone, which is I find to be almost the best way to see it, it still shifts.
Yeah, it still does.
So Sabine is working And Kathleen is. So Giovanni, can we start with you and see what you're doing?
Sure, yeah.
And is it your anniversary?
Yeah, yesterday.
Happy anniversary yesterday.
Thank,
Happy anniversary, you guys.
thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank you. Okay, so this is my selection for the
Oh, very cool.
peppers. Yellow and orange and red. I for the connection I use for the shadow, sorry. I use only the opposite dark from the from light to dark. For example, for the yellow, I started for bismuth vanadate for the base for the central point of peppers, and this is Indian, and the shadow I use the Indian with Naples yellow, and for the this point I don't remember the name. I use the first step is nickel titanate and apply the little shadow of lamb black for create the green. And for the red, I started in the old part with queen coral, and the undertone on down. I apply the pearl red and queen red, and I apply after dry the one layer old pepper is queen coral and Mayan orange in 50-50%. Well, and before this painting, I applied a little grisaille with queen coral and bismuth vanadate before black background. This is a little connection for orange, red, and yellow. It's very simple, but it's very fast for me.
It is.
And now I continue with the,
It matches John's swatches right now, side by side. That's cool.
yeah.
Very nice, Giovanni. What's your favorite yellow?
My favorite yellow is Aureolin.
Yeah, it's a pretty color.
This is, but in this case I don't use, but because I prefer for the connection the India yellow for the shadows. But now I try with my big brush.
Yes.
And so, thank you very much, Giovanni. And Buffy, how about you?
I'm playing with my new favorite yellow. My favorite yellow has always been Rossi the Light, but I recently have fallen in love with the chrome titanate yellow.
Yep, Titanate.
It is so beautiful, and it mixes really in a neat way. Like here it is with the Perion orange and then the anthraquinoid red. You get these beautiful pinks and peaches. And then here I'm playing with the Perion orange and the chrome titanate and some terry verde green to try and mimic these pretty flowers that came up in my garden. I finally have some live flowers, Letty. I really like this study though. So I was playing with it just as a triad, and this the terry verde makes this really cool effect when you mix it with the Perion orange. So the two colors separate from each other. So that's pretty cool. A neat color.
Do you like doing studies?
Yeah. Very much. Very, very much. It's for me, a lot of my swatching and my color study, it can take weeks sometimes before I'll start a painting that, you know, a personal project painting, because I'm really trying to get the exact colors for what I want my painting to look like. So yeah, maybe I'll in a little bit later, I'll show you my yellow study I did.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And Sabine, how about you? Sabine may be gone.
She may have stepped out of the room for a while.
And I saw Kathleen was doing something.
Okay. I'm just with my tone. Okay, my picture. I have the grenadine red under there, and I started with the hansa yellow light here. And then I mixed the colors with nickel azure yellow with the quinquinadone red. And so I have just mixed a little bit coral between. And so I'm just a little bit playing with the colors. I show you the colors I used to. Quinquinadone red and quinquinadone, oh no, not burnt scarlet, here, red, rosé.
Very cool. Very nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And how about Kathleen? No?
Yes, yes, no, I am unmuting. So when I first started, see, it's opposite, but I don't have my computer set up in such a way I can change that. But I was painting the cherries so that I could really find a red that I'm not familiar with. And I discovered that it was transparent pyrrole orange. It's right here on my palette. And I was just amazed at the color of pyrrole orange and oh, my finger can't even go the right place. It's the Aussie. So this is Aussie red gold. And that was Aussie red gold that I put underneath these cherries, the one the cat's tail got in. And on top of that was the transparent pyrrole orange. And it's just an amazing mixture of two colors together. So that's what I did. The background for the peppers, and the pepper is just one layer of the transparent pyrrole orange, and I'm just having such a wonderful time with it. And the yellow that is bismuth, which I don't use much, but I love it. It's such a soft yellow. And then I just painted just a little teeny bit of undersea green, which you introduced to me, John, many years ago. And I still have the stick that you sent me home with. And you know, it's just amazing how that'll last forever. But I do use it on occasion, and I love the way it just stands out with all of those colors. So I'm going to continue to layer the pepper. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And Angela, how about you?
Yes, John. I'm doing I'm playing with color.
Yeah.
And I did first one I did this which is the primaries, actually, because I wanted to see how it went with some blues. So that is a mixture of manganese blues and white, manganese blue and white. And these are all, it's gamboge. I love the gamboge because it's a bit orangey. and the I think the cadmium yellow and gamboge. And here there is a mixture of reds, like the pyrrole scarlet and the orange, the pyrrole orange. Whereas here it's still wet, but there is a little bit of alizarin crimson and mixed with this, with the nickel azo and quinacridone gold. I think, can you see the quinacridone gold? These colors of the quinacridone gold. And this is pyrrole scarlet again. And here I started with, I love this color. This is the, no, this is the nickel azo yellow. This is nickel azo yellow mixed with manganese blue. Oh, you cannot see it, right? Can you now?
Yeah, now we see it.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
And the one above, did you use alizarin crimson or a permanent alizarin crimson?
No, this is actually alizarin crimson.
Alizarin crimson. It looks lighter on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it's not dry yet, maybe, but yeah, when it dries, it will be even lighter. But I like the way they mix with this yellow, with this bright yellow, which is the Hansa yellow light. And you like how they mix here?
Yeah, I love the Hansa light. That's for me the nicest cool yellow.
Thank you, John.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Exciting, Angela.
Yeah, it's very exciting to play with color.
Yes, it is.
So on these right here, these five, this was Mayan yellow, followed by cad red scarlet, then bismuth vandate, which I think Buffy was using, and then Aussie red gold, Kathleen, and then this one is Hansa yellow light. And I did this just so I did on both sides here. Let's do this way. Something to look at as well. Push my water over here to the side. On the CIELAB, we also give you the L value, which is the brightness value, the light value or brightness. And so another way to look at that, the CIELAB, not only where it's red, green, yellow, blue, but you can look at the light value. And when I look at the Hansa yellow light and the bismuth, they're both 92. The most you can be is 100. Means these are going to be very bright. So even just looking at the statistics, I would know that these are going to be very bright, and they are very, very, very bright compared to, for example, this right here, which is this is my Mayan yellow.
Mayan yellow.
And it's in comparison to these two right here. It's nowhere near as bright as these two right here. In fact, you can see it on the screen. You can see this one is nowhere compared to bright as these two. So it's just another tool that if you just wanted to, have a cup of coffee, there's just a lot you can learn there and kind of ask questions and, just learn more about the color itself. Okay.
Letty, do you have something? Letitia has something there to share.
Okay.
Age of Mayan colors. So Mayan yellow, Mayan red, Mayan orange.
Very pretty.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, so here we have I think this one Buffy's using, Perlin orange. So Stella, if you were going to paint the flowers that we saw in Bulgaria, what colors would you use to get those really beautiful reds?
Which one? The poppies or the sunflowers?
Oh, yeah, oh my gosh, I love both those. Let's do the poppy first.
Well, the poppies, love the pyrrole orange. It's so bright and it's wonderful. And of course, I always think that the poppies have every flower has warm and cool. So I will use Carmen with that. Who is that? Angela, is that you?
What?
Oh, yeah. There we
No,
go.
no, it's not me.
I don't know who is showing my catalog.
Giovanni.
Giovanni, thank you, sweetie. Yeah, I have probably 3-4 reds there, John. I have pyrrole orange, I have carmine, I have cadmium red. I use a lot of different colors in my flowers. I'm one of those that see a lot of warm and cool. And I do believe that there is always in everything, there is a lot of warm and cool.
Yeah, beautiful catalog, beautiful book.
Thank you. And the sunflowers, you should see now the sunflowers, John. It's
Beautiful.
I don't know, this year it's like no other. There's so much sunflowers everywhere. I just put it on Facebook. And just those yellows are from the warmest to the coolest. Yeah, they're my sunflowers. Yeah, they have a lot of colors in them.
Beautiful, Stella.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful painting, Stella. So pretty.
Thank you. It's like million suns around Brzica. It's incredible this year, sunflowers.
Now I'm gonna have to go out to the farmlands and look at it, because we have some here, but they're more people do like 5 acres at a time, not hundreds and hundreds of acres. I'm gonna go out and look at them. They are beautiful.
Yeah.
Susan says, what book is that? So that's one of Stella's books.
Yeah,
Oh, my-
that's Stella's catalog. Well, a book. No, not a catalog, a book, actually.
Is that, John, is that up in the Skagit where they grow?
Yeah, the Skagit, also
Oh,
not
really?
in North Bend. North Bend has them, but it's probably like
Oh, really?
10 acres. It's just people that are actually going to cut them down and sell them to.
Oh, really? Oh, I'll have to go look at those. Cool.
In the Midwest, they had huge amounts of them.
Yeah, in the Midwest, they have a lot of sunflowers.
Have some here also. Fields are full of sunflowers around our town.
And in Girona too,
Yeah,
lots.
it's a beautiful time of the year when the sunflowers bloom.
It
But we
is.
tend to have smaller fields. In Bulgaria, the fields are bigger, and in America, maybe bigger as well.
Yeah. Now, this year especially because I don't know what is happening, but they planted tons of fields of sunflowers.
They can take the heat. The sunflowers can. And they knew it was going to be a hot year.
Yeah, probably.
Stella, can people find your book on your site?
Oh, I'm so bad in that. I'm the best businessman in the world. I think I have it on my webpage.
Or can I get it on Amazon?
I did put on Amazon, but since I'm not in the States, so when I go in September, I will put it on Amazon. But if anybody wants it, they just can email me and I will send it to them when I come in September, when I come home.
Okay, because they're asking on Facebook. So if you just email Stella.
Can you put that in the chat box, our email address?
Oh, stella.canfield@gmail.com.
Easy.
The easiest.
Okay, so this right here is the Perlin Orange, Hansa Yellow Deep, Pyrrole Orange, Permanent Orange, and Cad Yellow Medium. So if you were just looking at that, let's see.
Oh, yeah. Pyrrole and perylene, compare the two, the oranges, John.
Pyrrole and Pyrrole Orange and Perlin Orange.
Yeah.
So Pyrrole Orange and Perlin Orange.
On the screen, the perylene looks much brighter.
So Pyrrole Orange is 58 and 6. So it's a 64 for brightness.
64, wow.
64 for brightness, and it's a 59 by 60. And then that's Pyrrole. And then the
perylene.
I was getting that's almost like that is going to be, boy, also not that bright. So that's also 64.
Ah,
55 by 58. So in other words, they're going to be really close to each other.
very close, yeah.
We know they're about the same brightness. They are the same brightness.
Yeah.
And 59 to 60 means when we look at our quadrants, they're going to be in this quadrant right here, right? Because it's going to be 59 then up.
Very close.
They're going to be very close to each other. So they're going to be in the warmest quadrant.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. On the screen, the perylene looks much stronger.
It does. It actually, it does. Yeah.
I always thought the perylene, the pyrrole orange was the stronger one, but perylene looks very strong.
Well, it does here as well. And again, if it's within 2, and you can see there, this is within 4 and within 2, your eyes are definitely going to see the difference.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome.
I had some birds seed some plants in my garden, and they came up that perylene orange, 2 sunflowers. It was wonderful.
Oh, so bright, so orange.
Yes, they were that orange. They were beautiful. And they had black middles. They were just gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
I think the one thing I love about, I finally bought my first house. And the one thing I love about it is I get to go out to the nurseries and buy flowers and plants. And it's so neat that your backyard can go from nothing to vibrant color. Especially if they're perennials. And all of a sudden one day you look outside for a cup of coffee and there's flowers everywhere. And then with the flowers, you get the really cool little hummingbirds everywhere. And I love those guys. And then it's pretty wonderful. It's very, very nice.
It was that Perinon orange? Am I pronouncing it wrong? Perinon.
Yeah.
Ah, I'm very good with the names. Perinon orange.
So we had 2, 4, 6, 8, about 10 we didn't do. We can do them next time. If you've got questions, let me know any questions you might have or things you'd want to see. And I'm glad to go over it. I mean, I enjoy it greatly. There's probably no one meeting I've gone to all over the world. There's always variation because people in the group will ask questions, and it's always, I always enjoy it a lot.
And so do we.
We do too. We do too.
We do.
So with that, tomorrow, if you can join tomorrow, we have Besnick. And I don't know if Besnick's.
Besnick, who is that?
Hi, I'm here.
Okay.
Painter? Is he a new painter?
I was listening to you guys.
Hey, Besnick.
Hi, everyone.
That's the face you get to see tomorrow.
Yes. Can't wait to see you.
Yes.
Can't wait to see you perform, Besnick.
I hope I will do something good. Try my best.
Of course.
Thank you for
No doubt.
inviting me, John and Catherine.
So welcome. It was great to see you in Netherlands.
Yeah, you two guys as well. I was so inspired by all of you guys, having you as friends and walking around and so much positive energy. And then also I got so inspired from those beautiful views of the cities. And I just can't stop painting.
That's what it is about.
It was great seeing all of you. I hope you can make it tomorrow. If not, look forward to seeing you Thursday. Thank you for participating and asking questions. It just makes it so, from my perspective, it makes it just so much more exciting when it's interactive and you're asking questions. And the group is just a phenomenal group. Don't ever feel, I think, afraid to ask a question. It's just good for all of us. Certainly good for
Yes.
me. I appreciate it. So with that, thank you all very much. And I hope you get to enjoy the
Thank you,
Thank
John.
you,
Thank you,
John.
everyone.
Thank you.